What's up everybody? Have you ever wanted to look inside the Disneyland Dream Suite? Well, today I'm going to give you its history and an inside look at Walt's second Disneyland apartment. During construction of New Orleans Square in the 1960s, Walt decided he needed a facility to use to entertain guests. And he also needed a bigger apartment to stay in with his family. At the time, he already had his apartment on Main Street above the fire station, but he wanted a bigger apartment to fit his and Roy's families. Unfortunately, Walt passed away before the completion of both Club 33 and the Royal Suite, as it was called during construction. The project was shelved for years as the Disney family didn't find it a priority to finish after Walt's death. From 1987 through 2007, the space was used to house the Disney Gallery, a combination store and art gallery featuring projects from Disneyland history. The Disney Gallery today is located on Main Street, USA, next to Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. Then, in preparation for Disneyland's 2008 Year of a Million Dreams campaign, Disney announced they would be remodeling the space and transforming it into Walt's original Dream Suite. The space was to be given out randomly to guests during the Year of a Million Dreams as a prize. When Walt was designing his royal suite, he asked Imagineer Dorothea Redmond to draw up renderings of what the rooms would look like. For reference, Redmond was also the Imagineer who designed the murals in the entry passage of Cinderella Castle in Walt Disney World. When Imagineers set out to remodel the Dream Suite in 2008, they heavily relied on Redmond's original paintings for the royal suite. What they noticed when they looked at Redmond's original drawings is that each room was to be inspired by a different land inside Disneyland. The first room you walk into is the Legacy Hallway, which features Redmond's original watercolor paintings of the Royal Suite. The Master Suite is designed after Adventureland, with a 4-poster bed lined with mosquito netting. It is said that Walt always called his fireworks show a kiss goodnight to his guests, and the mermaid painting above the master bed is very similar. It comes alive when you hit a button near the door marked Kiss Goodnight. In fact, the entire room transforms into a kind of jungle paradise. The master bathroom is inspired by Fantasyland. The real showstopper here is a large bathtub surrounded by stained glass. When you hit a button by the tub, music from Fantasia begins to play and a starry sky appears above you. You can even spot a hidden Mickey in the stars. The living room, or parlor, is New Orleans themed with a fireplace grate shaped like Sleeping Beauty Castle. All of the items in the living room were designed to look like items that Walt, Lily, Roy, and Edna may have found on their travels and eventually inspired Disneyland. For example, on the mantle there's a small bird animatronic in a cage similar to the one that Walt bought that inspired him to create audio animatronics and the Enchanted Tiki Room. Also in the living room is a tall grandfather clock that comes to life every hour on the hour. Each hour, a new song is played and the clock interacts with different items around the room. At one time, scenes from Cinderella may appear on the face of the clock and you'll hear "A dream is a wish your heart makes." Other times, it'll play "When You Wish Upon a Star" and the original rendering of Sleeping Beauty Castle appears in a mirror. Or you might hear the song "Sing Like the Birdies Sing" from the Tiki Room and hear the bird in the cage chirping back at you. The second bedroom is inspired by Frontierland and features 2 twin beds and a lot of rustic colors. The Kiss Goodnight in this room is the toy train that travels around the perimeter of the ceiling. As it passes, it brings each toy to life along the track, including a replica of the sailing ship Columbia. The Dream Suite also features a private New Orleans-style patio where guests get the best view of Fantasmic. On the patio, there's a fountain purchased by Lillian Disney herself, flanked by 2 of the Disney family crests. You might also find a button labeled Fantasmic, which if pressed at the right moment, creates an illusion that you are actually starting the show yourself. It goes without saying, but when staying in the Dream Suite, you get to stay at Disneyland overnight. This is the one and only way to spend the night inside Disneyland. You have a tour guide that stays with you for most of your time in the Dream Suite and who will lead you on a private tour of the park after hours. Then, finally, if you aren't too excited, you fall asleep and then wake up to the sounds of Disneyland. Now tell me, how badly do you want to stay there someday? I hope you enjoyed learning more about the Dream Suite and seeing a peek inside. Let us know which room you'd want to stay in if you could spend the night. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon. Bye!